wonder what it's going to feel like to live in the cities of tomorrow? Well, today we're diving into the blueprint for our urban future. It's a world being built right now using artificial intelligence, the ancient wisdom of nature, and a completely fresh take on sustainability. So let's explore what's shaping the skylines for the next generation.
Just take a second. Try to picture it. A city where the buildings actually exhale fresh air, where the transportation is silent and totally clean, and the whole urban environment feels less like a machine and a lot more like a living, breathing organism. This isn't some far-off science fiction. This is the future that's being designed as we speak. And here's why that vision is so incredibly important. By 2050, a staggering 70% of us, 7 out of every 10 people on Earth, will be living in a city. Now, figuring out how to manage that kind of massive growth is honestly one of the biggest challenges of our time. And it means we need to think about city life in a completely new way.
So how in the world do you manage a city of millions with any kind of precision? Well, the first part of the answer is you give it a brain. And that brings us to our first pillar, artificial intelligence, the city's very own central nervous system.
You see, AI is this invisible force that can orchestrate pretty much everything. It's the intelligence layer that can take all the chaos of a modern city, the traffic, the energy use, the waste, and transform it into a system that runs smoothly and can adapt on the fly. And this isn't just a cool idea. It's already happening. In places like Singapore and Barcelona, AI is watching traffic in real time, rerouting cars to just slash congestion. Amsterdam is using smart grids to send electricity exactly where it's needed, cutting out waste. And get this, in Songdo, South Korea, there are no garbage trucks. AI handles all the waste automatically through this wild network of tunnels.
Of course, getting to this level of efficiency brings up a really big question. A city that can see everything needs a massive amount of data to work. So, who controls all that data? How do we make sure we balance this incredible progress with our own personal privacy? Because a truly smart city has to be an ethical one too.
Okay, so while AI gives our city a digital brain, it also needs a really resilient body. And for that, we can turn to the single greatest innovator of all time, nature. I mean, with 3.8 billion years of research and development under its belt, you better believe nature has already solved a lot of our toughest problems. The trick is just learning from its genius. This whole practice is called biomimicry. It's not just about making things look like they're from nature. No, it's about really understanding the deep principles that make natural systems so tough and so efficient, and then applying those same principles to our own designs.
And this gets super practical really fast. In Zimbabwe, architects actually studied termite mounds to figure out how to design the ventilation system for the East Gate Center. And right now, designers are studying the Namib desert beetle, which literally pulls fresh water from the air in one of the driest places on Earth to create materials that could help solve water shortages.
And the result of that termite-inspired design? Well, the building uses an unbelievable 90% less energy for air conditioning than a typical building of its size. That's not just a small improvement, that's a total revolution in design.
Okay, here's another perfect example. Think about the kingfisher bird. It dives straight into the water with almost zero splash, all because its beak is this absolute masterpiece of fluid dynamics.
Well, that exact design inspired engineers in Japan to completely reshape the nose of their high-speed bullet train. And what happened? The train became faster, more efficient, and dramatically quieter. Nature had the perfect answer just waiting for us.
Right, so we have a smart city and a city inspired by nature. But to make sure it can actually last, it has to be a resilient city. And that brings us to our third pillar, sustainability. If AI is the brain and biomimicry is the body, then you can think of sustainability as the conscience, the thing that ensures our cities can truly thrive for generations to come.
And this is way more than just adding a few solar panels here and there. Sustainable urbanism is a complete rethinking of how we live in cities. It's all about building in a way that creates fairness, that makes us resilient to change, and that fosters a truly harmonious relationship with our planet.
So in the real world, this looks like vertical farms popping up in dense cities like Singapore, which drastically cuts down on how far our food has to travel. It looks like green architecture, like Milan's Bosco Verticale, a literal vertical forest that pumps out oxygen. It's cities like Masdar that are aiming for almost zero emissions. And then there's this beautiful idea of the 15-minute city, where everything you could possibly need is just a short walk or bike ride away. That helps build stronger communities and cuts our reliance on cars.
Okay,
So we've looked at three really powerful ideas: artificial intelligence, biomimicry, and sustainability. But the real magic, the real breakthrough, happens when we start to weave these threads together into one single vision for our future.
So what do you get when you combine them? AI makes a city smarter. Biomimicry makes it adaptive, learning from all that wisdom from nature. And sustainability, well, that's what makes it truly livable for all of us and for all the generations that will follow us.
At the end of the day, the future of our cities isn't just about technology or cool design. It's about the choices we're making right now. Are we going to use these tools to build for profit or to build for people? Are we going to exploit nature or learn to evolve with it? The cities of tomorrow are already being built, which leaves all of us with the most important question there is: what kind of future do we really want to build?